Welcome everyone to the Town of Greater Napanee Committee of Adjustment for the 13th day of May 2025. We'll call the meeting to order and we'll look for a motion for the adoption of the agenda as presented. Moved by Councillor Norrie, second by Councillor Martin. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? The motion is carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, we'll look for a motion for the adoption of the minutes of the 22nd of April 2025 committee adjustment. Be approved. Thanks, Councillor Hicks and Councillor Shank. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried. And just before we get started, I think Mr. Nobes would like to introduce someone to us. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you, Worship, and through you to Council. It's my pleasure to introduce Dave Nanton, and Mr. Nanton started with us on Monday last week. He is the Director of Development Services and is a registered professional planner in the province of Ontario. So before coming to the town, Dave obtained his master's degree in urban and regional planning from Queen's University. He's held a number of municipal land use planner positions, has experience with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and most recently was with FOTEN Planning and Design at the Kingston office, where he was the senior project manager, and he was on a routine basis managing complicated files from official plan amendments, master plan subdivisions, zoning bylaw amendments, and very complicated site plan matters. So Dave brings a wealth of experience and understanding of both the public and private sector needs in the development industry, and brings with him a common sense, balanced approach to development. So this evening, Dave will run through the Committee of Adjustment items for the committee, and I'll be here to assist as needed.
Great. Thanks, Michael, and congratulations, Dave, and welcome to the Town of Greater Napanee family. So I'm sure that we'll probably keep you busy in the not too distant future.
Thank you.
Perfect. First up on our agenda this evening, we have a consent application, land severance application PLCOR 2024-032 M and L Cuthill 6204 County Road 9, legal description concession 3 part lot 5, former Geographic Township of North Fredericksburgh. And as we normally do, is there anyone here this evening to speak for or against this application? Seeing none. So Dave, whenever you're ready, the floor will be yours.
Thank you. And through you, Your Worship, to the committee. The applicant has submitted an application to create a 0.84 hectare lot along with a right-of-way from their 43 hectare property located at 6204 County Road 9. The application was previously heard at the September 10th, 2024 Committee of Adjustment meeting, where staff provided a presentation and a recommendation for approval. The applicant previously requested deferral at that public meeting, and the matter has now been requested to be brought forward for consideration. Property situated on the north side of County Road 9 in an area characterized by rural residential and agricultural uses. The application seeks to create a new lot in the southwest corner of the property, which features the existing dwelling while retaining the balance of the lands, which include the existing barn. To recap some key findings from the previous presentation, no comments or concerns were received from the public. The county had no objection, but did have conditions related to access and road widening, which are contained in the agenda. The Conservation Authority staff noted the watercourse and tributaries that are located on the property, but did advise that the proposed severed lot is outside of the 30-meter setback from them, and the retained parcel is large enough to allow for any future development to meet the standard setbacks. They did recommend retention of vegetation within 30 meters of the watercourse to stabilize soils and protect hydrologic function long term. The proposed severance is found to be in the public interest, consistent with the provincial policy planning statement part of me, and conforms to the county and municipal official plan. The proposal is compatible with other land uses in the area, and it is recommended the application be granted, subject to conditions. We are available for questions. Thank you.
Great. Very well done, Dave. Thank you. Is there any questions for Dave or Michael with respect to the applications for us this evening? Councillor Pinnell.
Thank you, Worship, through you. Thanks, Dave. Welcome. If you could just talk a little bit about that right-of-way easement, and has obviously the neighbor of the property, the other property, has been notified of this, and that it's going to be an ongoing continuous use?
Yes, and thank you for your question. The landowner, through the conditions imposed or requested by the county, require that a right-of-way Be a condition of severance, the landowner complete this as required. So currently, there are 2 access points that will be severed through the process. The idea being the county will not permit an additional entranceway because of the proximity to the existing. So we'll be on the proponent through conditions to register a right of way and obtain access for the parcel to the east.
Great, thank you.
Great, thanks, Councillor Pennell. Is there any other questions or comments for either Dave or Michael with respect to this application? Seeing none, we do have a recommendation that the committee receive for information the technical report regarding application PLCOR 2024-032 and further that the application to sever a 0.84 hectare developed residential lot from a 43.7 hectare rural property together with the right of way for access across the retained parcel in favor of 6238 County Road 9 and together with an easement located on the property owner's southerly parcel in favor of the severed parcel to establish continued legal access to the existing well be granted subject to a number of conditions that are contained within our report tonight. Moved by Councillor Shank, seconded by Deputy Mayor Calver. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? The motion's carried. Next matter up is Land Severance Application PLCOR 2025-011. Applicant is Edward and Lynda Wilson, who are also the owners of the property. Property is 261 Dafoe Street. Parcel to be created is immediately west of 231 Dafoe Street. Legal description, concession 10, part lot 5, former Geographic Township of Richmond. And is there anyone to see in the body of the council chambers here to speak for or against this application? Seeing none, whenever you're ready, Dave.
Thank you, and through your worship to the committee. The applicants have submitted an application, the applicants being the owners of 261 Dafoe Street, property being located west of Lime Lake Road and approximately 3 kilometers west of West Plain, submitted an application to permit the establishment of a 0.8 hectare lot in the southeast corner of their 36 hectare rural property. As mentioned, the new lot is proposed to be created in the southeast corner of the site, fronting on the Dafoe Road, with 60 meters of frontage in an area of 0.8 hectares, which will meet the applicable zone provisions. Staff review of the application found that the proposal is consistent with the provincial planning statement, which supports rural residential development, including lot creation, and conforms to the county and town official plans respectively. It was noted through technical review that part of the retained lands are designated environmental protection as a wetland and several watercourses are situated in the western portion. However, the new lot will be positioned away from these features and no adverse impacts are anticipated as a result of the proposal. No comments have been received from the public and the county has no objection to the application. Quinte Conservation has identified sensitive wetland areas and provincially significant woodlands on the westerly part of the property, but has no objection to the proposed severance. As the application is consistent with the provincial planning statement and conforms with the county and town official plan, staff are recommending approval, subject to conditions outlined within the agenda. To quickly highlight select conditions, the establishment of a well and related testing is a proposed condition, and this is to ensure appropriate quality and quantity of water supply for the intended residential uses. In addition to this, conditions are also proposing and requiring the proponents to obtain a change of use permit for barns on the retained lands and on an adjacent barn on the south side of Dafoe Road, the street, understood to be owned by family members. And this is to avoid any conflicts or concerns related to MDS setbacks. Staff are recommending approval subject to conditions, and we are available for any questions or comments from the committee. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Is there any questions or comments for Dave with respect to this application? Seeing none, we do have a recommendation the committee receive the technical report regarding application PLCOR 2025-011 and further that the application to sever a 0.8 hectare lot from a property 36 hectares in area be granted subject to a number of conditions that are contained within this report this evening. Moved by Councillor Norrie, seconded by Deputy Mayor Calver. There's no further comments, questions, or concerns. All in favor of that motion? Opposed? The motion is carried. Next matter, Land Severance Application PLCOR 2025-013. Applicant Paul Richmond, owners Paul and Donna Richmond, 379 Stone Hedge Road. Parcel to be created is immediately west of 307 Stone Hedge Road. Legal description, concession 10 north, part lot 17, former Geographic Township of Richmond. And once again, is there anyone in the body of the council chambers to speak for or against this application? Seeing none, go ahead, Dave.
Thank you. As items 5.3 and 5.4 of this evening's agenda are associated with the same parent parcel and involving the same applicants for similar purposes, I plan on speaking to these items together. The applicants have submitted applications to create 2 new parcels from 379 Stone Hedge Road, with both proposed lots to be 1.2 acres in size, with 74 meters of frontage in the southeast corner of the property. The property is situated west of County Road 41 off Stone Hedge Road in an area characterized by rural and rural residential uses. Staff review of the application found that the proposal is consistent with the provincial planning statement, again supporting rural residential development, including lot creation, and conforms with the county and town official plans respectively. Through application review, it was determined that much of the retained land, being approximately 29 hectares in size, is identified as significant woodland. However, the location of the new lots will be on the periphery of this feature, and lot creation and future development is anticipated to have minimal impact. No comments have been received by the public, and the county has no objection to the application. Quinte Conservation has indicated the retained lands are within the regulated area of unevaluated wetlands. However, the proposed severed lots will not adversely affect these features, and staff have offered no objection to approval. The proposed rural residential lots are consistent with the provincial planning statement and conform with the county and town official plans, and therefore approval has been recommended subject to conditions. With respect to conditions, due to development density resulting from the proposal, in addition to a condition requiring the establishment and testing of a well, a condition that a hydrologic review be undertaken to ensure the adequacy of potable water for the new lots and to ensure adjacent properties will not be adversely impacted by the proposed development has been proposed. Thank you. And if there are any questions, we're ready to answer them now. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Is there any questions for Dave or Michael with respect to this application? Seeing none, we do have a recommendation that the committee receive for information a technical report regarding application PLCOR 2025-013, and further that the application to sever a 1.2 hectare lot be granted subject to a number of conditions that are contained within our report this evening. Moved by Councillor Shank, second by Councillor Hicks. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? The motion is carried. And the next matter is very similar to the one we just heard on the same piece of property, and I'm sure the details will be the same. Land Severance Application PLCOR 2025-014. Applicant Michael Richmond, owner Paul and Donna Richmond, 379 Stone Hedge Road. Parcel to be created is immediately west of that under application PLCOR 2025-013. Legal description concession 10 North, part lot 17, former Geographic, Township of Richmond. And is there anyone here to speak for or against this application? Seeing none, go ahead, Dave. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Through your worship. As alluded to in the last presentation speaking, this application was reviewed by staff, and our findings were that the proposal is consistent to the application just voted on, and we are recommending approval subject to conditions as outlined in the agenda. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Is there any questions or comments for Dave with respect to this application? Seeing none, we do have a recommendation that the committee receive for information technical report regarding application PLCOR 2025-014, and further that the application to sever 1.2 hectare lot be granted subject to a number of conditions that are contained within this evening's report. Moved by Councillor Hicks, seconded by Councillor Shank. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried. Next matter, land addition application PLLA 2025-018. Applicant James Fox, owner William Fox, 619 Bridge Street West, and James Fox, 651 Bridge Street West. Property is 619 Bridge Street West, parcel providing lot addition, and 651 Bridge Street West, parcel receiving lot addition. Is there anyone, we do have someone here to speak. Sir, are you going to speak for or against, or are you just going to watch? You'll speak for as needed. Perfect. Just give me a nod if you want to come up, and we'll get you to identify yourself and come up to the front here. So is there anyone else? Seeing none, go ahead, Dave.
Thank you. And through you, your worship. The applicant has submitted an application for a lot addition to add approximately 24.5 hectares to the property municipally known as 651 Bridge Street from the adjacent property at 619 Bridge Street. The property is situated on the north side of Bridge Street West, and current uses include rural residential and agriculture. The intent of the application is to transfer the active agricultural lands from 619 to 651 Bridge Street and maintain existing uses. No comments or concerns have been submitted from the public. The county and Quinte Conservation have no concerns. The application proposes an exchange of agricultural land from one owner to another and does not propose any new non-farm related development. The application is in the public interest and is consistent with the provincial planning statement and conforms with the county and municipal official plan. The proposal will not result in the fragmentation of farmland, but rather maintain valuable agricultural uses in the municipality. And approval of the application is therefore recommended. Thank you, and we are available for questions.
Great, thanks, Dave. Is there any questions or comments for Dave with respect to this application? Seeing none, we do have a recommendation that the committee receive the technical report regarding application PLLA 2025-018 and further that the application to permit a lot addition of approximately plus or minus 24.5 hectares to an abutting 0.61 hectare lot be approved, subject to a number of conditions that are contained within the report this evening. Moved by Councillor Shank, seconded by Councillor Hicks. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried. Next matter up, minor variance application. PLVAR 2025-010 applicant is Peter Crane. The owner is Peter Crane. Property is 48 Quinte View Road. Legal description, plan 29R8050, Part 1, Concession 1, Part Lot 33, Bay of Quinte, former Geographic Township of Adolphustown. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this minor variance application? Yes, sir? Perfect. Same as we did with the last one, sir. If there's something that we need to clarify, we'll call you up and give you an opportunity to speak to it. So go ahead, Dave.
Thank you, and through you, Your Worship. The applicant, the owner of 48 Quinte View Road, has submitted a minor variance application seeking relief from the minimum front yard setback to permit a new accessory structure on their property. The property is situated on the west side of Quinte View Road, along the shore of the Bay of Quinte, and the residential property is surrounded by similar residential lots. The development proposal seeks to replace an existing shed with a new 24 by 14 accessory building, which will be set back further from the road than the existing structure. In order to meet the minimum 30-meter setback from the high water mark, the application seeks relief from the required front yard setback of 10 meters to permit a 7.5 meters front yard setback for the new structure. No comments have been received from the public. The county had no comments, and staff of the Cataraqui Region Conservation Authority are satisfied that the proposed building complies with their requirements and have issued a permit for its construction. While the minor variance is required to allow the reduction in the front yard setback, it will maintain the required setback from the high water mark of the bay. It should also be noted the new structure again will be set back further from the road allowance than the existing building itself. As the application meets the 4 tests of a minor variance, approval of the application is recommended. Thank you, and I remain available to answer any questions.
Great, thanks, Dave. Is there any questions or comments for either Dave or Michael with respect to this application? Seeing none, we do have a recommendation that the committee receive the technical report regarding minor variance application PLVAR 2025-010 and further that the application requesting the following variances be approved, subject to a number of conditions that are contained within this report. Moved by Councillor Shank, seconded by Councillor Pennell. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion's carried. And finally, minor variance application PLVAR 2025-012. Applicant is Alexander Feen. Owner is Alexander Feen. 402 Dundas Street West. Legal description is Concession 1 West, Part Lot 17, Plan 29R3243, Part 1, Plan 29R7294, Part 2, Napanee River, former Geographic Township of Richmond. And is there anyone here this evening to speak for or against this application? Seeing none, the floor is yours, Dave.
Thank you, and through you, Your Worship. The applicant, being the owner of 402 Dundas Street West, has submitted an application seeking permission for a 6-meter reduction in the minimum setback from the high water mark of an accessory structure. The property is located on the south side of Dundas Street West and is in an area characterized by residential and waterfront residential development. The property currently features a 9.7 square meter shed that's located approximately 9 meters from the high water mark. The minimum setback again for an accessory structure to the high water mark is 15 meters for reference. While the structure does not require a building permit due to its size, structures are required to comply with the applicable provisions of the zoning bylaw, including location. It is my understanding that the matter has been brought to the town's attention dating back to 2023 through resident comments received, and that through staff review, it was determined the structure did not comply with the applicable provisions of the zoning bylaw. The town has previously connected with the owner to advise of opportunities to address the non-compliance, including options to move the structure itself to adhere to the minimum setback, or applying for a minor variance to be granted and request relief. Public comment has been received for the application from a neighboring property owner, and the comments are included within the agenda. The nature of the comments received were that granting permissions retroactively would be concerning, as this could result in undesirable shoreline and waterfront development here and potentially in the future, and that zone provisions should be respected. The county has no comments for the application. Quinte Conservation staff indicate that as a storage shed is less than 10 square meters in area, it is exempted from the regulation concerning development in the floodplain, and staff therefore have no objection. However, as identified through technical comments received for the application by the Quinte Conservation, the shed is situated in the floodplain and therefore is not consistent with Section 5.2 of the Provincial Planning Statement, which requires development to be generally directed to areas outside of hazardous lands adjacent to rivers. With consideration for the application, staff are recommending deferral to consider the proposal against the 4 tests of a minor variance in greater detail. Since the time of writing the staff report and the issuance of the agenda, staff have engaged with the applicant to schedule a site visit to review the property and further consider their proposal. Of note, an alternative approach available to the committee could be to vote on the application for or against based on the comments received and the content of the staff report and presentation provided this evening. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Dave. Is there any questions or comments for Dave or Michael with respect to this application? And I noticed that they are recommending that it be deferred. So is there anything we can task these gentlemen with following up on prior to them coming back to see us? Go ahead, Councillor Hicks.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just to be clear, this is a case of it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. Is that what we're dealing with here? Okay, thank you.
I sense that's probably what it is, yes. So is there any other questions or comments for either Dave or Michael? Seeing none, we do have a recommendation. The committee received the technical report regarding minor variance application PLVAR 2025-012, and further that the committee recognized that the application requests relief from section 4.11.b.I of the Town of Greater Napanee zoning bylaw 0222 to reduce the minimum required front yard setback from 15 meters to 9 meters, and further that the application requesting the variance outlined above be deferred until staff can further evaluate the application against the 4 tests of a minor variance under section 45 sub 1 of the Planning Act. Moved by Councillor Hicks, seconded by Councillor Pennell. Is there any further comments, questions, or concerns? Go ahead, Councillor Hicks.
Thank you, Your Worship. If this is deferred after your site visit, I think you said tomorrow or this week, soon at any rate, your findings are then brought back to the next committee of adjustment. Is that how this is going to work?
Thank you, and through you. The idea is to review the property as of Tuesday, and depending on the findings of the site visit, either bring it back for a recommendation to an upcoming committee meeting that can be accompanied, or depending on the direction, it may come to a subsequent meeting. But yes.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Councillor Hicks. Is there anything further? If not, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion that's on the floor? Opposed? The motion is carried. And look for a motion for adjournment. Moved by Deputy Mayor Calver, seconded by Councillor Martin. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, all in favor of that motion? Opposed? Motion is carried. Thanks, folks, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes for a regular session of council.